Have you ever felt that people don't really see what you do, that you put a lot of energy into your work, a lot of time, a lot of effort, but it constantly and regularly goes unnoticed? This is something I hear a lot from my clients who are often entrepreneurs or founders or leaders or working in organizations in bridge roles. They often really struggle to get the recognition they deserve. So in this video, I want to share what my 700 hours of coaching experience have told me about this problem. I'm going to talk about why these skills stay invisible, how to name them, and how to communicate them to other people. Because here's the thing. We're often seen as not doing the work. We're often seen as not being equal to those who have quantifiable outputs, but it's simply not the case. So much of our work goes unnoticed because it doesn't fit into a neat line on a CV or a job title or correlate against some very important metric or KPI for the organization. And this hits people who are in bridge roles, it hits people who are generalists, people who don't like to fit into one box or who have multiple hats, who are wearing them in an organization. The very skills that make people like you and me creative and adaptable and invaluable to organizations and projects, well, they're the ones often that slip under the radar. So for example, some of the skills that I lean on the most and people have told me that I'm all right at is listening, learning quickly, synthesizing information, seeing patterns in things. Now, I didn't recognize these as skills in myself. I spent a lot of my career trying to attain, technical skills or being recognized for technical things or more kind of knowledge-based things, when what it was these softer skills, these connective skills that were the ones that were really important and made me good at my job. Now, I didn't really see this until I ran a simple exercise with my coach, shout out AX. She really helped me see how I was going to move forward with my career and how I could only move forward with my career if I understood what these skills were. Now, I'm going to talk you through the exercise shortly. Before I do, if you like this video, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, I have loads more videos on the channel and loads more coming. So please hit that subscribe button. Now, I call this exercise that we're going to talk about a superpower audit, and I now use it with all my clients. The exercise is really simple. Find 5 people that you work with. You can choose family and friends if you like, but it's better if it's colleagues or collaborators or someone you're in a band with, someone who you have a semi-professional relationship with. Ask them, what is my superpower? Wait for the results, and when they come back, we're going to scan and analyze them. So for instance, here's what I got back. One said, I present as a 3D human. In other words, I bring my whole self to work all the time. That person also said that I make work fun, which really surprised me. I see myself as quite a serious person at work. I've often been accused of that. So it was great to hear something that maybe contradicted what I had in my head. Another person said that I help people navigate what's within them, which was also really interesting because I often held a leadership role where I've been telling people what to do, but they said to me, I help draw good ideas out of people. Another person said that I'm a systems thinker, that I connect insights from different worlds and I make them accessible. Now that's something I had thought about myself intuitively, I suppose, but I'd never really had a term for it, a word. So systems thinker became really useful as a frame for me. When I do this exercise with my clients, I see the same 2 things every time with almost everybody. The first is that a lot of the things that come back to them are new. They are hearing this for the first time. And this is obviously because the way that we perceive our value is very different from the way other people see our value. And so to hear ourselves described in external terms can be really surprising, it can be really validating, and it can be really empowering. The second thing is, notice that nobody said I was really good at doing spreadsheets or writing reports. What people often surface are the ways that we see, the ways that we think, the ways that we connect, the ways that we build relationships. And the trouble is, these are hard things to recognize sometimes. So it's great when we hear them from other people, but we also need to understand that these are hard things to be very explicit about. So the next thing we're going to need to do now we understand our own superpowers, that we have names for them, is work out how we can get other people to recognize and see these superpowers. So in many environments, especially if you're a generalist, as we've talked about, the credit flows naturally to specialists. The people who have expertise will often hoover up all of the credit, not necessarily deliberately, it's just where the credit flows, because it becomes a lot easier to give credit to someone who is either leading a team or someone who has a role that is directly targeted against some kind of growth or success KPI. Many of my coaching clients work in big organizations, often in non-profits, where this is especially true. And so if that's you, it's really vital to trace your fingerprints on the work. When a project wraps, I always find it super useful to write a short debrief where you highlight what was achieved and how it came together. But the key is that you don't just share it and sort of try and take credit and sort of muscle in on the crediting, but you frame it as lessons learned. You frame it as though it's a gift to your colleagues to say, this is what worked really well. This is what might work really well next time if we do this again, or if you go off and do this project again. By doing that, you shine a light on your skills and you really add value. And people recognize that both intuitively and explicitly about you. They see your name there, they recognize you're part of that team, but you've also come away not trying to claim credit, but actually giving a gift so that people can do things better next time. So by doing that, you stay associated with the success, but you don't have this kind of slight icky self-promotional thing that we've all seen people do, and that often is really kind of repellent, I guess. It's also something, taking credit, that people who are from marginalized backgrounds or people who are in difficult spots inside an organization can find it very, very hard to do. It's often resisted by the organization or worked really hard against if there are certain power structures. So it's really important that you find other ways to get around that rather than just demanding credit for something that you're doing. Many of my clients are also creators or freelancers or entrepreneurs, people with no team, people who are working for themselves. And so the question is, how do they communicate the value? And for me, that is all about showing their thinking, whether that's in a vlog or a blog post or a behind the scenes newsletter, sticking something up on Patreon, explaining how they work, explaining how they connect ideas, explaining how they got to where they got to by producing this, whatever it is, video, project, music, it doesn't matter, whatever it is. If they explain how they connect the ideas, it functions as a sort of self-promotion, but not of the icky LinkedIn kind. It functions as storytelling, essentially. Storytelling that's really valuable to others. One, because it helps them recognize what we're good at, and it helps them, understand the value to the work beyond the work itself. They can often understand how much work went into that work, which is vital if you're an artist or a journalist or a musician. But it's also valuable to other people because they learn something about processes. They might learn how to do something differently, a new tool to use, a new process or a way of thinking about something. It essentially helps people see the invisible architecture behind your work, and that's really, really crucial. If you're in a bucket of people where you are just starting out, or you're thinking of applying for a new role, then you can also think about this in a similar way. You have to think about it in some instances a little bit differently from how you might be taught how to do it. So I always tell people to be very specific, very human, to skip buzzwords like collaboration and synergy and synergistic collaboration. Tell a story about what you achieved and how you achieved it and how you were part of that success. So you might not be able to say, well, because of me, sales were increased by 50%, for instance, because you weren't the sales director, you were some kind of person who was operating in the background or joining teams or passing information. But you can definitely say, I was part of the team that delivered this. I stewarded the team that delivered this. I played a fundamental supporting role in teams that achieved X, Y, and Z. And then you can talk about the impact, not just in terms of numbers, but also maybe impact on people's lives. This isn't then about overselling yourself, nor is it taking credit where you don't deserve to take credit. It's about giving shape to the parts of the work that usually go completely unspoken. It's really valuable if you're trying to build out a CV or if you're just starting. It really helps people understand what these more unconventional, invisible, hidden superpowers might be. So give it a try. Those two exercises, the first to kind of name what the superpowers are inside you, the second to try and communicate to other people what they are. Give them a try. Let me know in the comments how they go. Before I leave, I would just say one thing, which is I think it's really important to say that these exercises will not work unless you believe in your own superpowers. You cannot prove value that you yourself have not accepted. So naming them is one thing, but you really have to believe that these skills are valuable, that things like empathy and synthesis and systems thinking and emotional presence, you need to really understand these and value these as real skills, value them in other people, tell other people that they've been really good at this, that you found this really helpful. Then they become real skills to you and the environment that you work in, not just nice extras. You can model the appreciation of these skills in the organization. Because if you believe that these invisible superpowers that you have are indeed superpowers, then other people will too. Thanks for being here. Like and subscribe, it really, really helps me. Like I said, there's more coming on the channel. There's maybe some other stuff that would help. I have a video called 700 Hours of Multi-Passionate Coaching that might help you too. If you have a question about this or anything else, a kind of adjacent topic, some kind of coaching thing you'd like to answer, some kind of career query that you'd like me to help with, just drop it into the comments and I will try my best to answer it in a future video. Thanks for being here.